You guys enjoying this all so far?
There's libraries everywhere. Everything you can imagine behind the
what we wanted and then some.
knowledge alone is not.
And it's not over yet.
Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you saw in nature an eagle hanging out with any other bird other than itself? You've never seen it. Why? Because eagles fly alone or they fly with other eagles. Are y'all with me? So let me say, oh yeah. Eagles value their altitude. Everybody take your eagle hands and bring them up real high. Say, I am. Everybody bring them up high. Say, I am an eagle. And eagles, I need 100% participation. Say, I am an eagle. And eagles value their altitude. And an eagle would rather fly solo than to fly solo. Woo! Did y'all catch that?
One of the things that I teach is that there's a lot of different what I call speaker models or styles or ways of doing the speaking industry, right? For a large part of my career, I've been predominantly a keynote speaker, but I'm also a trainer and facilitator as well. And so I love getting a chance, of course, as well as a executive coach and things of that nature. I've got several certifications in coaching, including hypnosis, neuro-linguistic programming, leadership coaching, DISC level 1 and 2 certifications, things of that nature. So I use that not only in my coaching practice, but I also use it in training. And of course, I also use it predominantly in keynote speaking. So this client was different because they wanted us to do a full 3 or 4 hour stint, right? And so we did from 9 to 1 at their meeting. We started off with the experiential and then we switched over to the keynote. And one of the things that I think is so vitally important is to understand which modality you're using for an audience and knowing how to switch between modalities so that way the audience gets the most out of the experience.
It's never your best. Your first crack at anything is never your best. So look at that first and second attempt as practice. But don't you quit it, don't you give up on me. If we're gonna perform beyond gold, and if we're gonna shift our lives and our businesses into a higher gear, we've gotta constantly improve. Are you with me? Say, oh yeah. We gotta constantly get better. Clap it up for that, y'all. That's good stuff right there. That was a good place to clap. 2 people, thank you.
We did the facilitation for the first 2.5 hours, and then we gave them a 15 to 20 minute break. And the break allowed them to take a brain break, restroom break, right, bio break, check their phones, check their whatever, and kind of further process what all had happened. And it also gave me a moment to shift over from being facilitator to shifting now into keynote speaker. So when we shifted to keynote, because during the facilitation mode, there's no tables, there's no chairs. They didn't need tables and chairs for the most part because, again, they're constantly doing an exercise and experience. They're up interacting with each other. Does that make sense? But as soon as we shifted over to keynote, everybody sat down, everybody turned their chairs towards the stage. I put up my PowerPoint presentation, I had my clicker in my hand, and now I'm actually teacher, I'm instructor, right? So now I still am very interactive even in my keynotes, but when you're keynoting, you're really kind of delivering a lot more information. In facilitation mode, they couldn't take any notes because they're learning through doing. Does that make sense? But in the keynote environment, we were able to allow them to sit down, grab their paper, grab their pen, grab all their material, and then they were able to take copious notes of all the things that we were teaching them. And those notes is what they were able to walk away with and then be able to actually reflect back on.
Who you ride with on a motorcycle is crucial, because if they don't lean when you lean, if they don't move when you move, an accident is guaranteed. Any bikers in the room other than me, throw them hands way up, say hell yeah. I am 10 times more particular about who's on my motorcycle than who I am in a car. You act a fool in the back of the seat all you want to, it don't impact my ride. But who's riding with me on the motorcycle of my life and my business is everything. Are y'all with me, Fiber New? Say, oh yeah. So if we're gonna take it to the next level, we have to shift our posse. From now on, Eagles only. Deal? And sometimes that means You gotta be willing to fly solo. Just for a second, because you're not willing to fly solo.
How do you get an audience to interact? How do you get them to engage? How do you get them to participate? And is it awkward at the beginning when you visually see people who act like they kind of don't want to do it? And so there's two parts to that. Number one, I am committed to unapologetically making sure that my audiences transform. I'm not interested in standing ovations. I'm not interested in them taking notes, even though I want them to do that. I'm not interested in a couple of goosebumps and all that stuff. I think that's great and wonderful. I am interested in transformation. See, most people speak for reaction. I speak for retention. Say that again. Most people speak for reaction. I speak for retention. I want my audience to remember what I shared with them and apply it to their lives and careers and their families. And I want them to always remember the day that they met Dr. Delatorro.
One of the first shifts that I want you to make right now is I want you to shift from having to do anything to getting to do everything. When you have to do something, it's an obligation, it's a chore, it's a responsibility. And that's why it's not fun and it's not exciting. Can we be honest? Somebody say, hell yeah. Hell yeah. When you have to do stuff, it's like, oh, you get it done, but you're not really passionate nor present. You just do it. Does that make sense? If you get up every day, you say, it's 3:30 in the afternoon, I have to go get the kids from school. You're gonna pick them up with an attitude, aren't you? Come on, somebody. Car line takes for freaking ever. Am I right? Say, oh yeah, right? But when you say it's 3:30, I get to go pick up my kids from school. All of a sudden, it sounds like an adventure. It sounds like a chance. It sounds like an opportunity. Does that make sense? Somebody say, oh yeah. You get to figure out, okay, what route am I gonna drive to go pick them up? Am I gonna stop and buy for ice cream on the way home? What fun questions are we gonna ask on the way home? What are we gonna pick out for dinner, right? It becomes an adventure, right? Every single day we wake up with a to-do list of all the stuff we have to do. What if we shift from I have to do this to I get to do it?
So I am really, really committed to them retaining what it is that I share with them. So because of that, I understand adult learning theory says that when the participants are in an active learning state, as they're learning information, their retention of that same information 2 weeks later is 70 to 90%. But if the audience is in a passive learning state, which is the way we were taught in school, right? Their retention of that same content 2 weeks later is 10 to 20%. An audience is only going to remember 10 to 20% of what you say if they were in a passive learning state, which means shut up and listen to me while they were learning what it is that you shared with them. So I love to keep my audience in an active learning state, which means I have to hold a space of unapologetic confidence and belief in them. And I have to demonstrate the importance of interaction, the importance of the experience. So if I'm going to say, hey, I need you guys to raise your hand, I got to raise my hand. If I'm going to ask them to go around and hug, they see me going around and hugging people, right? They see me getting excited. They see me dancing on stage. And when they see me dance on stage, it gives them permission to dance on stage. When they see me laughing hysterically, it gives them permission to laugh hysterically. When they see me play full out and use my body to really engage them, it gives them permission to do the same.
I'm gonna end with this. I believe that attitude is absolutely everything. One of the stories that I teach in the book is a story that changed my life when I first heard it from one of my mentors who's passed away. And I've since taken his concept and just kind of amplified it. Did you guys know all around the world that the lion, and I think this is so applicable to entrepreneurs, it's like not even funny, that the lion is considered the king of the jungle. We know that, right? Say right. Now, for the purposes of this example, king is gender neutral. Are y'all feeling me? Okay? But check this out. All over planet Earth, the lion is the king of the jungle. But if you really take a moment and think about it intellectually, the lion has a lot of disqualifying attributes about itself that don't technically qualify it to be king. How many of y'all in this room, as entrepreneurs, as CEOs of your own franchise, how many of you all have ever doubted yourself? Hands way up. How many of y'all have ever second-guessed yourself? Hands way up. How many of y'all have ever looked in the mirror and you focused more on what you don't have going for you than what you do have going for you? Hands way up. Then every one of you all can relate to this story. The lion is the king of the jungle, but if you think about it, family, let's just talk through it real quick. The lion is not the fastest animal in the jungle. Somebody say, right. Talk back to me, family. The cheetah's a whole lot faster. Like way faster. The lion is the king of the jungle, and the lion is not the biggest animal in the jungle. Thank you. I'm waiting for the right. The elephant is way, way bigger. The lion's the king of the jungle, and he's certainly not the smartest animal in the jungle. Right? Monkey's a whole lot smarter. So wait a minute. Our competition is faster. Our competition is bigger. Our competition is stronger, smarter. But yet we're still the freaking king of the jungle. Come on, Fiber New, come on. How is that possible when I'm not the fastest, I'm not the biggest, I'm not the smartest, I'm also not the tallest? Right? You got to go back to your job, right? I'm not the tallest animal in business. I didn't get the most amount of money in the PPP loan during the recession. I didn't go to school and get all the right degrees for this. Come on, somebody. I don't have the biggest email database. I don't fully understand social media quite like that. I'm still trying to figure out digital marketing and Facebook ads. Can I get a couple of hands to talk to me up in here and say, hell yeah. I don't have every advantage, but I'm still the king of the jungle. I'm not even, watch this, I'm not even the heaviest. The hippopotamus has got me on that one. And I'm not even the most flexible. I'm kind of resistant to change. I'm not the most agile. The snake has got me on that one. So Jesse, Kelly, I don't understand. I'm not the biggest, I'm not the tallest, I'm not the fastest, I'm not the strongest, I don't have the greatest bike power and strength. I ain't got none of that going for me. How is it possible that I'm still the king of the jungle? Because the attitude, the lion, the one reason and the one reason only, and it ain't muscle, and it ain't speed, and it ain't mindset. That lion looks at every one of those other animals as one word, what we're getting ready to go to, lunch. That lion looks at every one of those other animals as a snack, as a meal. He says, when I take you down, I feed my family for a week. The only reason the lion is the king of the jungle is because it believes that it is, not because of its qualifications. So my friend, you have to shift your attitude so that you can believe that you are every single thing that you desire to be in this business and in your life personally. And as you operate as the king, queen of the jungle that you are, when you roar, you know what the lion has going for it? It's roar. When a lion roars and it opens its mouth, you can hear that roar for 5 freaking miles. And it paralyzes its prey. Are y'all with me? Somebody say, oh yeah. You might not have all the perfect pedigree and credentials, even with the support that this incredible franchise provides. At the end of the day, we still have to leverage and use the support that's there. It can be there, but y'all, we still gotta what? Use it, access it. So I wanna encourage you, when you get down on yourself, when you feel like you don't have all of what it takes, look at what you built in this daggum freaking room. When you think you don't have all the resources necessary, go back to images like this. Are y'all feeling me? And look at what you did with balloons and tape and string. And it's still up. Come on, somebody. And be this creative in your business and be this creative in your life. And I promise you, Hive, you will thrive. Y'all, this has been Dr. Delatorro saying shoot for the top. It's the bottom that's overcrowded. I love you all. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for the honor to serve you here at the Five Renew Hive Live Convention 2022. Put your hands together for your incredible leader, Jesse, in the building.
Honestly, somewhat speechless how to put it into words, the impact that we felt in this room with all of our franchise owners. And they're going to be talking about this for a long, long time. We laughed, we cried, we learned a lot, and didn't want it to be over, to be honest. 4 hours wasn't enough, let's put it that way. That's what it felt like. So, Delatorro and the team, amazing, absolutely amazing.
Today was fantastic. I've been with Fibrenew for 20 years. Feel really motivated. The energy was incredible. I call myself the energy guy in my business, and I'm the head instructor for Fibrenew International. And I just loved the energy that was. It just flowed throughout the whole event today for the last 3 or 4 hours. The different events that we went through, fun, exciting, and really made everybody think outside the box.
I think mostly thinking outside of the box and being more creative with my franchise is going to be something I have to take home, and I plan to apply.
You know, one of the things I love about being a keynote speaker, I can't lie, is, you know, I love to travel and I love to experience new places, right? And so one of the great things about being in Nashville is when we filmed this particular documentary, I honestly had not experienced the city of Nashville like we were able to experience this go around. So it was incredible. I mean, I loved all of the history. I loved all of the music. I mean, literally, you could not go anywhere without. There was bars everywhere. There was people everywhere. There was entertainment everywhere. There was music. There was history. There was culture. Everywhere you looked, there was just so much to be stimulated by, entertainment-wise, and it was incredible.
What's going on, everybody? Hey, so check it out. It's the next day after the keynote and heading back to Nashville Airport. Wow. I mean, literally, after that keynote, literally, I could not take 2 steps in any direction at the Renaissance without people stopping me, telling me how impactful our presentation was.
He is an absolute inspiration. Go ahead, Jim.
Yes, I've worked for a corporation 35 years and been to many conventions. By far, he is the most motivational, on-point person I've ever met.
He's got himself fired back up and ready to get back to work.
I want you to understand, y'all, that never gets old. It never gets old when you hear people tell you how transformational, how impactful your message, your content, your delivery, and your energy was for them. I've been doing this 22 years, and it still touches my heart in a very deep and special way when people come up to me in tears regarding the transformation that took place. These are people that I've never met before, and in a matter of a few hours, our voice can now drown out the negativity of voices that they've heard for years. That's the power of being able to do what we do. Again, heading back to the airport, looking forward to getting back home to my family, looking forward to getting back home to Simba, looking forward to getting back home to sleeping in my own bed, the whole 9 yards. But here's what's interesting. I think I have like a 1 or 2 day turnaround, and then we start a 5-day challenge. And then in the middle of the challenge, we've got to travel to Washington, D.C., and then we're going to New York to go back on the Today Show again. So, y'all, in the speaking industry, you're never just doing one thing all at the same time. You're always doing multiple things all at the same time. So you're preparing for speeches, you're delivering speeches, you're preparing for training, you're sending out requests for proposal, you're prospecting, you're fulfilling on social media, you're fulfilling on products, you're writing books, you're doing it all at the same time. You're cooking a meal. I teach my students this who are in my 1 year inner circle, that in the speaking game, you're never just doing any one thing you're never doing just one thing. You're always doing multiple things all at the same time. So project management is essential, brand management is essential, and having a good team and building that team slowly and strategically. And so that way you have a group of folks that support your brand, support your message, and support your next level. Y'all feel me? All right, this is how we do it. Hope you're enjoying this incredible series. Now, a question that nobody's asked me so far is a question about fee integrity.
So I want to talk about that for a quick moment because people call fee integrity different things in this industry. I have very close speaker friends of mine who have various speaking fees for various groups, and they kind of take whatever the client has available, and that works for them. For me, my definition of fee integrity is being clear about what my rate is and doing the best I can to charge the client that rate, and only really negotiate within 10 to 20% of that rate in most circumstances. Now, there will always be an extenuating circumstance every now and again. But let's just say, for example, your speaking fee is $10,000. If a client comes to you and they only are willing to offer you $1,000, that's a 90% adjustment on your speaking fee. Are you willing to go down that much on your rate, right? If you take one gig for $10,000 and 4 gigs at $1,000 and then 2 more gigs at $10,000 and 5 more gigs at $1,000, that's not operating in what's called fee integrity. Does that make sense? Fee integrity says that if my rate is 10 grand, I'm gonna do the best that I can to charge within 10 grand as much as possible. Every now and again, you might do a gig for 7,500 or 8,000 or 9,500 or 1150 or 1250, but at least you're staying in the ballpark 10 to 20% of that core rate of whatever your rate is. But if you're constantly ebbing and flowing your fee and charging 10,000 to one client, 1,000 to the next, 25,000 to the other one, 2,500 to the next, 3,000 to one client, and $200 to the next, in my opinion, that's not fee integrity. I think you should pick a rate that you're happy with, that your clients will book you at, and then continue to graduate your fee as you continue to graduate your success in this industry. So those are my thoughts on fee integrity. In the very beginning of your speaking career, guess what? You got to speak for whatever people will give you because you're just trying to get your name out there. But that's in the beginning. Once you establish your name and your brand and you set a rate, set it, rock with it, and increase it as you go along. Those are my thoughts.
You know, one of the questions that I get asked all the time is, how did you get on the Today Show 4 times? Or how did you get your book published by a major publisher? Or how did you hit this certain fee level in your speaking career? Or most people ask me questions about the end product of my speaking career, and very few people ask me questions about the process. I'm here in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm in this amazing museum of all these incredible automobiles that were built back in the 1920s and 30s and 40s, and all these amazing vehicles just remind me of the process of becoming. And my friend, here's the truth. Before we can have some outcome, we've got to do the right things, and in order to do the right things, we must become the right type of person. It's a process of becoming. Michelle Obama understood this, and she wrote a New York Times best-selling book about the process of becoming. And I think before we try to start to see, there's 2 types of people: parasites and You see, there's 2 types of people out there: parasites and proteges. Parasites want what you have earned, but proteges want what you have learned. I'm looking for proteges, people who really want to learn from my body of experience. 22 years in this industry. I'm 45 at the time of this documentary. 4,000 documented paid presentations all over the planet. 8 best-selling, actual documented best-selling books. Wall Street Journal, USA Today, all that great stuff, right? But my friend, I need you to understand some television appearances all over the planet. But I need you to understand something. All of this has been a process of becoming. And you cannot get the end product without going through your own process. And if you skip the process, you don't get the end product. Does that make sense? I love something that Zig Ziglar said. He said, the achievement of a goal is not nearly as important as who you become in the process. So the question is, who are you becoming in your process? This is one of the reasons why I need you to register for our upcoming 5-day challenge. Visit monetizeyourmessagechallenge.com. That's monetizeyourmessagechallenge.com, and come and spend 5 days with me virtually, online, so that I can mentor you and coach you and teach you about this industry and teach you how to become the person who will do the thing so that you can have the outcome that you desire in your business, in your speaking career, in anything that you so desire in your life, my friend. I've put this whole documentary together to show you that it's possible. I am living, breathing proof that you can go from having a dream in your head about wanting to do something one day and not having, I wasn't born on third base. I had a lot of disadvantages in my life. But I know what it's like to go from having a dream and a vision of wanting to make something happen to literally living it out on a daily basis. And if you have a dream of speaking, if you have a dream of sharing your message and your story with the planet in a powerful way, my friend, I can literally put gasoline on that dream and accelerate it for you and help you get where you're trying to go literally 10 times faster. I have living proof through all of my students that I've worked with that I can help you collapse decades worth of development into days. I believe that when the student is ready, the teacher shows up. I believe I've shown up in your life for a reason, to help take you from an older version of what was possible for you to a new model of what's possible for you. Let's make your dream happen together. You know what amazes me? How many speakers are not willing to turn the crank on their own careers. They want it to all happen for them. They want social media to happen for them. They want it to all happen because of YouTube. They want it to all happen because they did some reel on Instagram. And they don't want to put in the work to crank for their own career. My friend, you got to put in the work. You got to go to the events, do the networking, right? Do the Toastmasters organizations, speak for all kinds of different events and functions, and put your name out there and do the breakout session presenting and prospect for the kinds of conferences that you want to speak at. But I promise you, if you just keep cranking this thing a little bit, if you just crank for a few good years, you will build a name and a reputation that you'll be able to hit cruise control on. I'm gonna say it again. If you crank for a few good years, I didn't say grind, I said crank. If you crank, in other words, if you do the legwork early on in your career and you do the things, wax on, wax off, paint the fence, does that make sense? Up, down, sand the floor, do the things. They call me the Mr. Miyagi of speaking because I make my students go through the fundamentals and master the fundamentals of what it takes to build a successful speaking career. But if you will go through these fundamentals and you will get that wheel turning, my friend, I promise you, you're gonna get to a point where you're gonna be able to put your speaking career on cruise control because you've built a name and a reputation and a brand that people trust. And when they hear your name, they'll pay your fee, they'll put you up, they'll travel with you and your team, and I promise you, you're gonna get to a point. If you do this uphill work, you're gonna get to a point, it's called the tipping point, where guess what? It'll be downhill, smooth sailing from there. But you gotta be willing to put in the work, my friend. That's what I want you to do.
Cut. It's a wrap. It's over. Cancel Christmas. We finished it, fam. So listen, what did you think? I cannot wait to hear your thoughts and feedback. Listen, thank you so much for being a part of this incredible 3-part documentary, docu-series on Monetize Your Message. I hope that you got so much out of this, and you had to. There's no way you couldn't, right? I hope that you were able to enjoy all 3 episodes and you got massive value. And now is your chance to actually act on and execute on the things that you learned. We didn't just want, hey, follow me around and film me. Listen, because I don't want you in the grandstands of life cheering me on. I really have zero interest in that. My goal through producing edutaining television is to pass on the lessons that God has allowed me to learn through being in this industry, and to mentor, coach, and develop the next generation of speakers, authors, and coaches who want to go out and shift their clients and shift the planet with their gifts, talents, abilities, and skills. And that's what I want to help you do. I want to help you literally leverage public speaking and presentation so that you can gain more clients, more contacts, more contracts, and more cash. I want to help you to live your life to the fullest, and I want to help organizations to shift into a higher gear and perform beyond gold. So I hope that you enjoyed this incredible docu-series. I hope that you got massive value out of it. Please share your feedback with us. Reach out to us and let us know what you thought of this incredible series. And if you feel compelled and you'd like to work with us closer, then reach out to us. All the information's on the screen, how you can connect with us. And we cannot wait to develop you further through this incredible experience. God bless you. Thank you for tuning in. Please share this with others on social media. If you enjoyed what you experienced, listen, success is better when it's shared with others. So share this experience with other folks, and let's get the planet monetizing their message as well. God bless you, my friend. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon.